On behalf of Minister Carnes, welcome to another edition of Translation and Interpretation. I am Aliyahu Yisrael Shalom, and I am your narrator for this lesson.
I've never read where Jesus said, I am God. I've never seen that.
You're right. Jesus never says, I am God. Instead, in John 8:58, Jesus says, before Abraham was born, I am. The Jewish people who are listening pick up stones to stone him. Why? Because they understood. Yahweh, their name for God, I am who I am, Jesus applied it to himself. And they were going to stone him for blasphemy. And Jesus didn't say, time out, you misunderstood. Drop your stones. No, Jesus stood by his claim. Before Abraham was born, I am.
Sometimes, it is very difficult to determine if a verse is translated properly in the Old and New Testaments. One key point is looking at the verb and then the context. John chapter 8, verse 58. Yoshua said to them, truly, truly, I tell you, before Abraham was, I am. Let us examine this verse. The Greek word genomai is translated as was by the translators. Genomai should be defined as to come into being, or to come into existence. The English translators did not completely translate the meaning of the word genomai. When we break down the Greek verb genomai, we see the following. Aorist. Infinitive. Middle voice. Aorist is typically translated as past tense in English. The infinitive means that we have to add to the verb meaning. The middle voice is reflexive, meaning the subject distributes the verb's action to himself or herself. The Greek words ego eimi, I am, usually has a predicate attached to it as an identifier. An example, I am Aliyah. My name, Aliyah, is the predicate. When there is no predicate attached, then the person speaking is identifying himself or herself, I am he, or I am she, or it is I. In the New Testament, here are two examples. John 8, verse 28. So Yoshua said, when you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am he, ego eimi, and that I do nothing on my own, but speak just what the Father has taught me. John 9, verse 9. Others were saying, it is he. Still others were saying, he looks like him. He said, I am he. Ego eimi. Some translations state, I am the one, and other English translations state, I am the man. Based on the parsing of John 8 verse 58, this verse should be translated as, Yoshua said to them, truly, truly, I tell you, before Abraham was to come into existence himself, I am he. The Messiah is simply revealing who he is, based on context as the sent Messiah by the Father, but they did not believe him. The Christian translators believed that the Messiah and the Father were the same. Therefore, they translated John 8 verse 58 to match Exodus 3 verse 14, but they also mistranslated Exodus 3 verse 14 to match John 8 verse 58. Here is Exodus 3 verse 14. And Almighty said to Moses, I am that I am, and he said, you shall say to the children of Israel, I am, has sent me to you. Exodus 3 verse 14 in most English Bibles is not translated properly. The Greek Septuagint LXX has a better translation. And Almighty spoke to Moses, saying, I am the one who exists. And he said, thus you will say to the children of Israel, the one who exists has sent me to you. Finally, Almighty's plan of redemption existed from the beginning. Messiah was predicted or prophesied to come, long before Abraham was born. How can we know this? Revelation 13 verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, who was slain from the foundation of the world. It was planned. In John 8 verse 58, Yoshua didn't assert that he was the Almighty. He did make a very forceful claim to being the Messiah who was sent by Almighty. When Yoshua stated, I am he He simply meant that he had been predicted to come before Abraham had been born. The Yahudim had numerous chances to recognize and accept the reality that Yeshua was the Messiah of the Almighty, but they chose to remain oblivious to this fact and crucified him anyway. Once again, the Messiah was saying, I am he that was sent to redeem you. He was sent to redeem us from what? The curse of the law, which is death, because of sin, according to Galatians 3, verse 13, and Romans 8, verse 2. Galatians 3, verse 13. Messiah redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us, for it is written, Cursed is everyone who is hanged on a tree. Romans 8, verse 2. Because through Messiah Yeshua, the law of the Spirit who gives life has set you free from the law of sin, meaning the breaking of the law, and death, which is the consequence of breaking the law. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to receive the latest updates.